Hey guys, welcome to my first look at The Castle Doctrine. This is a game by Jason Rohrer that is in very early alpha right now. But it's really interesting. So this game is kind of an MMO, I guess, if you wanted to put a label on it, but it's very unique and very hard to describe. The basic idea here is, this is me, this is my house, this is my family, and this is my money. And I have to do what I can to prevent people from being able to take my money, and at the same time go out and steal other people's money. So the way it works is, if you get to the vault of somebody else, you get half of their money. If you kill their wife and step over her corpse, then you get the other half of their money. So we have two areas, two things to protect here. So the first thing we're gonna do is take my wife and put her back here, so it takes her a while to get to the door. But I need to leave a clear path so that she can get to the door. And so to protect this vault, we can do a number of things. Here's all the tools that are available to us. So we've got walls of various materials, and you need different tools to break through different walls. You can use a blowtorch to get through metal and wood walls. You can use explosives to get through wood and concrete walls, and you can use a saw to get through wood walls. And those are all different prices, all single use. And we can buy those later on after we're done creating our own house. We got empty floor, we got doors, windows, pits, power sources, trapdoors, etc., wiring, and so forth. We're not going to do anything fancy with power, mostly because we only start off with $2,000, and you can't really afford powered stuff, but there are a lot of interesting traps that people create with power, especially electric floors and powered doors later on. We also have pets that we can have. Cats and chihuahuas will walk around and can step on switches for you if you want to do elaborate things with that. And pit bulls will kill the enemy if they come in contact with them. So first off, we're just going to use some wooden walls. I'm going to move my safe. You know what? I'm going to show off my super secret best way to hide the safe. This is something that somebody suggested when I was streaming this game when I was first trying it out. So we're going to build a thing right when you walk in. I don't care about my kids at all, by the way. They can die for all I care. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a little enclosure that looks like... Get out of the way. That looks like it houses a vault. Put some doors on it. And just put a pit bull inside there, as well as a pit bull up here and over here, and I'll lay down some walls here to make people a little bit nervous about trying to walk in there. The idea here is, like, kind of the most basic thing that people tend to do when they start off in Castle Doctrine is just make a situation where you have to choose two ways to go, and one way will kill you immediately and the other way will not. So I have these pit bulls here that will kill somebody either way that they go. There's no way to avoid that. But you know, they will know that, and they'll look at this and just be like, well, the vault must be in there, and they'll try to get in there. But if they do manage to get in there, there's another pit bull that will kill them. Meanwhile, the safe is actually just right up here, but they won't be able to see that unless they know to walk up there. So that should be pretty good. The last thing I'm going to do is actually come back here and put a pit bull next to my wife, and hopefully, I haven't tried this yet, this is a new pro strat, hopefully that pit bull will come with her and kill people if they try to kill her. Because what a lot of people have done is they'll come into my house and just walk back and forth until my wife comes, and then they'll kill her, take the money, and just leave the vault, not even worry about that. And that's a pretty shitty exploit in my opinion. Hopefully they'll fix that in later patches, you know, make some sort of counter to that, because right now there's really nothing you can do about that. Except, you know what? See, I don't want to scare people off either, but I'm also going to put a pit bull down here. And hopefully one of those pit bulls will kill them before my wife gets here. Somehow. Because these pit bulls won't come because they won't see him. Hopefully the one at the bottom will. But we'll see. Let's find out. So here's my elaborate trap. Obviously, it's not the greatest trap of all time. Partly because I'm low on funds, partly because I'm terrible at building mazes. But let's check done here. And now I have to prove that I can, with no tools, safely reach my safe. And of course I can, easily, because I know where it is. So now people can invade my house. And meanwhile, I can go and invade everybody else's houses. So these are all of the people who are online right now. All of these names are randomly assigned, so I don't know what my name is. There's no way for me to tell that so that I can have my friends come over and try to get into my house. All I know is that I'm a guy, and these are a bunch of other guys who are also playing the game. And, yeah, we could go check out their houses. So let's check out somebody who is not terribly successful. This guy has $1,000, so, you know, if somebody has a ton of money, they probably have a great house defending it. This guy only has $1,000, so I'm gonna guess he doesn't have much. Alright, so here we are. There's just wires sitting on the ground. Okay. There's dogs. There's a lot of dogs. Let's go ahead and leave that house, because there's no way I would be able to do that. Looks like my family's still alive, which is good. Often you'll come back to your house and just find somebody dead. There is an exploit that I'll talk about maybe a little bit later after we see an example of it that is kind of shitty. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, okay, well, here we go. This is an example of that exploit, I think. I can't be sure. But every time anything in your house dies, the game saves that situation. So when the next person comes in, the pit bulls will have advanced further than they should have. And that can often make houses completely impossible to solve. Like, say, for example, I came into my house, this kid ran forward, I killed the kid, and then left. This dog down here would have come a substantial amount forward, and then when the next person comes in, they might not have time to walk up to the safe before that dog gets them. That's a bad example, because you can outrun a dog. But there are situations like where you'll just walk in and have dogs converging on you, like we saw earlier, and there's nothing you can do. That house is effectively unrobbable unless you want to kill all the dogs, which is pretty shitty. And hopefully that's a bug that'll be fixed as well, because right now a lot of these houses with a ton of money, we can just assume that they've been put into untenable situations by the bug where the wife is dead, and they can just keep on laying down new dogs and making it impossible. Well, actually they can't, because then they'd have to prove they can solve the house. But if they just leave it the way it is, somebody would have to kill all of those dogs before they'd have a chance at robbing the house. Oh, by the way, almost totally forgot. I always do this to buy some things. So let's take a saw with us, as well as definitely a crowbar so we can kill a person with it. Let's see here. What else would be good? I don't have a ton of money, but it's nice to have a couple of utilities. Let's grab a blowtorch, and maybe wire cutters are usually not the best, because often the way the puzzle is set up is that you have to have power to turn on the switch that opens the door, and if you wire cut, then you can't do that anymore. But let's go ahead, take some explosives as well. We can get through one of each wall now. Let's get out of here. And another cool thing, nobody's died in my house yet, but if somebody dies or is successful, then a security tape is saved, and we can see how that happened. So I'm really hoping we'll get to see some of that in the video. Though now that I've spent all that money, there's maybe not a great chance of anybody feeling like coming into the house. Let's check out this guy. He has a $1,000. Oh, this is the same guy we already robbed. Alright, so let's try a different house. How about Christopher John Curtis? How's this guy doing? Okay. Whenever I see a situation like this, I just want to leave. Because those, you know, generally what has happened when there's a setup like that is, again, the somebody's died in the house to set it differently. And if I try to run across all of those wired floors, a cat will step onto a switch and turn on the electric floor and kill me. By the way, those are electric floors, which are an instant death. And if you do die, your house is destroyed, everything you have is gone, and you have to start over with $2,000 again. So there's a pretty high risk. Well, here's an example of... Oh man, I'm nervous. I don't want these switches to turn on. Or these wired floors. I want to try it. Ah! How do they know? I wonder... Normally something like that would require pressure pads. A lot of the electricity stuff is opaque to me. Alright, so we have died. I don't feel like setting up my house again, so let's just go ahead and buy some stuff. And then after I've robbed a couple more houses, what I'll do is start a new thing, show you guys how I build it, and then just leave the game on for a while, and I'll edit in, you know, the security tapes after people have tried or failed at my house. Tried and or failed. Did I already buy a gun? Yes, I did. Let's get some explosives. Let's get another blowtorch. And at this point, I'm just accepting that people are going to rob my house. Actually, you know what I could do, which is maybe the best way to do it, is just buy a bunch of guns and put them in my vault. Take one gun with me. Now buy, you know, a couple more blowtorches. And now I have $0, so nobody's going to want to rob my house anyway. And I have this extra stuff in case I use all the stuff I have. So maybe that's a good way to do this. So obviously my vault is easily accessible, but there's nothing in it. Joke's on them. So let's go ahead and try to rob some people for a little while longer, and then we'll set up another house and watch what happens to the people who invade it. So general impressions of this game as I'm looking through for a house to rob. Oh man. I like the window to his dead wife here. There are all these powered trap doors that could plunge me into the nether realm. But we seem to be okay. This is scary, man. Okay. Okay, so there's obviously a cat power or toggling that or something. I don't really understand how electricity works in this game. So we could just go through this this wall and check out what's going on elsewhere. We could cheese this a little bit, but until I know where I'm going, it's probably not the best idea. What we need is a way to open or to close those trapdoors, or open this door. And one unfortunate thing about this game is that you can't actually blow up doors. You know, that's not allowed. But we could blowtorch our way through here, and then blow our way through here. And oh Jesus, there's a lot of powered doors here, and that is all of the materials I brought with me. So that was a big waste. But there must be some kind of... Oh! I don't know how that happened. Okay, now we have... Oh god. This scares the shit out of me. We have electric floors. Am I gonna... Oh my god, I made it. Okay, and now we're in a saw puzzle. Okay, this is the worst shit that people do. I hate it when people do this. This is a switch puzzle. I'm not even sure exactly what I'm supposed to do here. It could be that there's a certain combination of switches that gets me to the vault, or it could be that there's one switch that I have to hit first, and any other switch will just break the game, so I can't possibly get through. And I have no way of knowing which is the case. So let's just guess this one. That does not seem to have worked. Let's try this one. Nope. 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 Yeah, it's essentially an 8, like a 1 through 8 keypad here, and if you type in the wrong combination, then you are dead. Just fell through a powered trapdoor and died, because there was absolutely nothing I could have possibly done there. You know, props on you. If you can accrue the money necessary to build a monstrosity like that, then you deserve to keep your money, I think. This guy has an absurd amount of money. I kind of suspect that some people have found ways to cheat this game and get extra money, because some of these mazes are absurdly complicated, and just like the amount of money necessary to build all of those powered doors and shit is ridiculous. It's like $100,000 house. And I obviously did not make it through that. So let's try this one more time. Just buy a bunch of shit. More explosives this time, I think. And a gun. just in case, and prove that my house is robbable. It is indeed. And let's see what the richest man in Castle Doctrine has to offer for his trapdoor. Okay, we have to step over the dead bodies of his family and die immediately. Welp, that was a good puzzle. And it looks like he has a switch puzzle beyond that, so not hard to see why that guy has not been robbed. Okay, so now let's go ahead and build, like, basically rebuild my last setup here. What I'm actually gonna do, just put my wife like here, guard her with a dog, and hopefully that dog will have line of sight on the intruder. If not, then that's not gonna be good. And meanwhile, we hide the vault right here. I want it to be as close to the door as possible so that I don't have to race a bunch of dogs to get to it when I'm proving my house is robbable. Like, if I put it in the back right corner, then I would have to cut down substantially on pit bulls because they would catch me while I was walking there, and I have to rob it without tools, remember, so I can't kill any of my pit bulls. So we'll put that there. We'll put a dog... I don't want to scare him off, but I do want to prevent the wife exploit. So we'll put the dog up there. And now we'll create the cheapest little room I can. Because remember, we are on a budget here. Put some doors there. And there's a dog. That might be visible. See, you can kind of see through one layer of walls, which is fucking stupid, but also how the game works. So I don't want to play my hand too quickly here. But we will put a dog here, and put walls here and here so they are not visible. Make a nice little scent sign, and people will walk in and just be like, hey, that must be where the vault is, because, misdirection, man. They'll never know that the vault is actually hidden elsewhere. And hopefully, my hope is that we'll get to see some people die on this. We do have like $900 left, which is not a ton, but hopefully enough to incentivize coming to my house. They'll think it's easy prey, maybe. But we are done. Where did I put the vault again? It was down, right? Yeah, down. Okay, so we'll race for our vault. Here comes the dog, but he cannot get me. And now I guess I will just pause the video for a little while, and we'll come back and see how our house is doing. I'll just leave the game running for maybe an hour and come back to see our results. So thank you guys. Well, not thank you guys for watching. I'll be right back. And we're back. So I actually have a security tape here that demonstrates pretty well why I think the wife mechanic is pretty stupid. So let's go ahead and play the tape here. We've got this man coming into the house, and he's just gonna walk back and forth. He knows the wife has to come eventually. Kids can go for all he cares. He's pretty clearly, I think, come into my house before and seen what he has to deal with. So he's brought, the necessary tools to take care of my two dogs. He's going to, drug the two dogs, kill the wife, take the money, and just take off. Which defeats the entire point of, like, making a maze and everything. Not only that, but my house is now completely unsolvable, I think. Because this dog is going to wake back up here. And when it does, you're gonna, well, it's not gonna be unsolvable, but you're gonna have to kill the dog, which is annoying. And further from that, I don't think anybody actually tries to rob houses where they just walk in and see a dog, so I don't think we're ever gonna get another security tape here. People are gonna walk in, see the dog, and be like, well, later, and take off. And I think the way people kind of climb to riches in this house is actually just grinding out noobs' houses like mine, who still have a wife, because the wife is such an easy target, such an easy way to get money. If I could just tell her to sit in the corner and not take any money with her, then she'd be perfectly safe. But because she's trying to take money out, she's instantly targeted, and not only targeted, but there's really nothing I can do about it. There's no way to keep your wife alive. If you look at any rich person's house, the wife is dead, and they've then built up from there. So what I would do if I wanted to become a rich person right now is just scroll down, look at somebody with very little money, preferably with no attempts on their house, or very few, because then, I scroll down until I find the people who still have wives. All these people with tons of attempts, their wife is obviously dead, but people wait to see that house that pops up with 0 attempts. And they know the wife is still alive. Oh, well, I didn't, I probably should have brought something to kill the wife with. But, we got cats everywhere. Can those kill me? No, I can step on them. Yeah, try it. Try it, motherfuckers. Also, the vault is right there. So I can just take this guy's, half of this money. I stole $87. Returned to my house. Obviously everything's still all fucked up. Sleeping pit bull. I guess it does stay sleeping, but I'm not sure how long that lasts. People can walk in, see the wife is dead, and immediately are just like, well, nothing to get here. Because the primary sort of means of gaining money is just farming noobs who don't know any better. Let's take the crowbar with me, as well as, maybe some drugged meat is not a bad idea. Maybe some extra crowbars as well to kill dogs. And we can become the monster that I once hated. Let's go ahead and click done. Oh, shit. That's right. I do have to prove now that I can access my vault with no tools, and I can't, because this pit bull here is out of position. So we'll just take that away. And instead, make things a little bit easier on the people. I'm not going to have a timer because I don't have a timer. They can take as long as they want to figure out that my house is impenetrable and hopefully die in here. We'll just, there's no more pit bulls here. Nothing to worry about until you walk around the corner here and this pit bull instantly jumps on you. And meanwhile, our vault is still very safe down the other way. So we're going to click done here. Prove that I can reach my vault. I can easily. And let's go farm some newbies, because that's apparently what this game is all about. Let's check really quick to make sure, yeah, no more security tapes. I don't think anybody's going to be inclined, again, to rob my house when they come in and see that the wife is dead. It's all about finding that house with no wife and going from there. So you just sort of check the bottom levels here. I'm sure a lot of people would like it if you could filter by 0 successes, because that's an obvious, free wife, essentially. One idea that Zen had for this game that I really liked was to have an item like a wife sack, where you could actually steal somebody else's wife and replace your wife with it. I think that would add a lot of depth to the gameplay. This is one success. That success is obviously, killing that guy's wife and leaving. So we're not going to do that. Looking for, again, 0 successes. If only I had remembered to bring a crowbar, I could have had some more free money last time. But, yeah, we'll just keep on scrolling here. Hey, here we go. Rob house. So this one, oh. How? Huh. So we could, if we wanted to, just kill these 2 pit bulls. Then it's possible that, oh, I can't do it from range. It's possible. This guy's made an interesting maze here. It's also possible we could just win here. Let's try this. Let's make this, if I die here, this is the last section. Oh, we've got to... Ah, okay. So that is the end of Castle Doctrine. Obviously, if you can't tell by my tone, I think there are a lot of mechanics that need to be worked out here, because there's a lot of things about the game that are kind of shitty and exploitative and silly. But the basic gameplay concept, I think, is really, really cool in Castle Doctrine. I really like the idea of making your own little mouse rat maze and, playing with the psychology of the other player and trying to, entice them into attempting to take your vault and not just leaving the house immediately, but also dying horribly due to one of your masterful traps. I love it. I think there's a lot of, like, the Minecraft, thought process here of, it's fun to build something, and it's more fun to build something and have other people see it. And I think it's even more fun to build something that will kill other people and then watching them suffer as they fail to, get through your impregnable fortress of a home. I don't like the way you have to grind up money from new players who still have wives. I don't like the wife mechanic at all, really. I think that whole mechanic doesn't work well. I wish I could lock up my wife. I wish she wouldn't just try to leave through the door every time. I wish I could lock her up somewhere so she could hide, so that it would be a bonus to find the wife and kill her and get the extra half money. But the primary goal is the vault. So yeah, and hopefully Jason Rohr is looking at this and taking feedback into account and looking at how the game is being played, because obviously it is still an alpha. There are still things that can easily be changed, and again, at its core, it's really fun. And I actually did have a lot of fun when I was earlier in the beta and people still hadn't figured things out. I did have a lot of fun watching security tapes of people trying and failing to beat my house, but it's tough to bait people into that. People only make that mistake once or twice before they realize if you walk in and see a pit bull, it's probably just not worth it. You should just take off and try again at an easier house, and basically just farm the houses of new players who don't know what they're doing yet. If a person has even a moderate amount of experience in the game, like even my little, silly setup that isn't that great at all, just turns people off immediately. People will walk into the house, leave, and you don't even get to watch a security tape of that. So, hopefully there's a little bit more done to make the game a little bit more interesting to play. But again, early alpha, if you like the concept, which I definitely do, I encourage you to pick up the alpha. It's $8 right now, and that is half of what it's going to cost when the game comes out in full. So if you like the idea, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the description to the website where you can find out more about Castle Doctrine and also purchase it for yourself. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.